3 minutes late. Oh man. I hope my producer doesn't dock my check. You know what I mean? I guess it's pretty cool when you're the producer, right? So if I do dock my check, I guess I'll take the money I saved docking myself to buy me something special. Good morning. This is Incarceration Friday on the Hemet Beat Daily Show. Daily Show, Daily Show. I am running super late. It is 4 minutes late, man. 4 minutes late. All right. But that's okay. We're not stressing off of that stuff. Let's go ahead and get prepared to catch up with Antone Page today. We're still determining whether or not we're going to change the name of Incarceration Fridays. That is still on the table. But as for now, we are still Incarceration Friday, and there are a few things that are going on I need to let you know about. Definitely, we will not be live on Sunday, possibly, because I have some things to do. I'm going to be going to a wedding expo. Never been to a wedding expo, so I'm going to go check out what a wedding expo is. While we're waiting for Antone Page to clock in at, I believe he'll be clocking in at 8:41, he says. Usually it's 8:41. Why don't we go ahead and play a little Juicy Baby? Where is it playing from? I see that it needs to be coming out of a set of headphones here. Let's see here. Where is it coming from? Let's move this, change that, do this, do that. Alright, now you're going to get some volume, right? Didn't work? It didn't work. What's going on? Hold on, hold down. I'll figure it out. Yeah, that should be coming through loud and clear. I wonder what's the problem. Okay, I got a snowball there that's working, and then I got a set of headphones there that's working. Alright, audio box, there you go. Okay, and apply. What is the issue that we're having here? Very peculiar, very peculiar. It's one of those mornings, ladies and gentlemen, one of those mornings. Alright, let's see what if I do that. And I power these on. Will you be able to hear then? Nope, that totally took everything off. What is going on with my sound? Let's see, is it? You'll never believe it. But I'm pretty sure you will. Check it out. Check out the problem, right? This is the problem. Okay, so as you can see, the Juicy Baby video is playing, right? But there's a big giant sign right here that says mute. Now I have to figure out where's this music going to blast from before I play it, because I don't want it to just thump, thump, thump crazy right now, right? So let's go ahead and put it inside of these headphones, trade headphones. All right, I'm getting it together, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me here. All right, there we go. What happened? There it is. Okay, so it's there. Alright, X that out. Alright. You're gonna let me do anything without going through the whole full, that's stolen advertisement time. I want you guys to know that. Alright, let's go back. Now, let's pause. Let's go back. Let's press that. Let's press that. Now, without further ado, here's your little Juicy Baby.
Hey, baby, what's up? Daddy been trying to call you. You ain't been answering. I call Call your little stupid phone, but you was unavailable. I wrote this little stupid song so you would know we slimy, bro. Baby, you my baby, I'm always gonna love you so. Baby, you my baby, I will never ever let you go. Girl, you know you stupid, that means you are incredible. Girl, you so dumb, that means you stupid beautiful. Got your hair done, you looking bad, girl, you terrible. Girl, you so juicy, you my little juicy babe. You can call her Majesty, pretty eyes and pretty teeth, 23s on top of feet. Yeah, you know she made you neat, don't care about what you about, but think you hate just cause you can't compete. Baby dressed in purple, but you busted in that dusty peak. Ugly from your head to feet, your man thinks she a masterpiece. Calling her a dime piece and she don't even want your cheek. Looking for the cutest thing and G up your little with the P. It's gon' say a laser is cause that's just what a laser be. Get up out my face, she say, hey, I'm on D&D. You can keep on falling, but boy, she ain't Alicia Keys. Get up what she wants today. She get it like on delay. She just bought some brand new J's. About to go get kicked with J's. I called my little stupid phone, but you was unavailable. I wrote this little stupid song so you would know we slimy, bro. Baby, you my baby, I'm always gonna love you so. Baby, you my baby, I will never ever let you go. Girl, you know you stupid, that means you are incredible. Girl, you so dumb, that means you stupid beautiful. Got your hair done, you looking bad, girl, you terrible. Girl, you so juicy, you my little juicy babe. See my little Bonita babe, I'll call her my Mia more. I'm gonna make you hate her more, I'm gonna let her buy the store. Put her up in lavender, she my little stupid babe. I'm gonna make you mad at her, she my go-go dummy babe. Baby, you my baby, I'm always gonna love you so. Baby, you my baby, I will never let you go. Call your little stupid phone, but you was unavailable. I wrote this little stupid song to let you know.
All right. So now I finally got my face in the picture. See here. There we go. No headphones on. Total rough start this morning. Total rough start. If you only knew. Oh, that is the avatar of young Antone Page. Still waiting on him to make that call in. And that is young Alasia Page. And while we're waiting on that, why don't we go ahead and check out our verse of the day. He should be calling in at any moment. Okay. Verse of the day. There we go. Verse of the day, Galatians 3:28, coming to you from thebiblegateway.com. All right. There you go. There's a link to thebiblegateway.com. If you are looking for a verse of the day, you can always take that link, click there, and they come up every morning. It says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is neither male nor female. I want you to take a look at that part. There is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Now that's one of the scriptures that people use to make homosexuality and lesbianism and transgenderism work. Like, there's neither male nor female, so how can you say I can't be an alien, or how can you say I can't be this gender, that gender? And I wonder what your thoughts on that could be. You know, my thoughts on it, I think he's trying to say to us that it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a Jew nor a Greek, or a slave or a free person. He does not care. You are all one in Jesus Christ. So we are unified. I don't think it has anything to do with the gender, transgender transformations and things that take place. But you know what? You go ahead and say what you think and tell us in the comments. You know, maybe you can tell me something that will enlighten me to what this scripture really means. Of course, I've done a little digging on my AI, but I don't want to take Antone's time and talk about what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what he wants to talk about. So let's go back over and into his channel. And he's got a couple more, but he's got no bangers on here, man. We need some bangers. Where am I going to find a banger for Antone Page? I got some somewhere. Let's see here. All right, press the iTunes app. Man, I gotta get better about this. He's only sitting at 9 subscribers, so you might want to possibly look out for him and subscribe to his channel. At 9 subscribers, I'm sure he's not doing exactly what he'd like to do. Let's see here. Let's put the I in here. iTunes. There it is. That's what I want. Thank you. Antone Page Mega Mix. That's not much of a mega mix. Alright, here we go. That's a bumper. Let's bump this. Locate. Are you serious? Everything that can go wrong does go wrong. I swear. Alright. We're going to find a thumper anyway. Because I am completely just refusing to lose here. Alright, how about that? Let's see.
Just because you fell asleep, that don't make you obsolete. I love is like a cup of tea. The angels in you comfortably and never get enough of me. Tell them go and take a seat. Show them what they come to see. God, I'm on busy. Voices to facility. Seeking for my inner peace. Crossroads of destiny. Will I see the best of me? Ladies,
The road is long, my mountains high, the valleys low, the storm it blows, the wind is cold, my purple rose. How much I love you, only God knows.
I'm giving you the rest of me. If you would take the breath of me and give it right back and see, I wish that we would never be. Friends are the enemy. Angel light was the feet. Till I break this family tree. Nothing in this life I'm free. All for sleep when life can be. And God gave you back to me. Forgive me for adultery. This ain't how it's supposed to be. That when I was supposed to be. I should have been a grown-up man. Closer than a couple kids. Closer than a double chick. Praying for my passenger. I'm feeling like I'm off of them. Broken like an acronym. Feel like tapping in. Nay, I'm just tapping in. I love you like a gasoline. All love like a total gym. All official sin. Won't be long before I see you again. Till then, I keep it living through my pen. Till then, I keep it living through my pen.
The road is long, my mountains high, the valleys low, the storm it blows, the wind is cold, my purple rose. How much I love you, only God knows.
I wash my hands and face in the metal sink. I see your face in the mirror, make me wanna sing. I think about the past, I don't wanna be. I see my daughter in the earth, I wish I never seen. I saw the daughter in the dirt, they 6 feet. That's something that a mother should never see. I think I need a streak, I'm raining inside. I think I need a tweak, I'm slipping on God. No therapy, I feel my heart bleed. Beating off beat, and I'm off key. A broken heart string. This is what it sounds like to hear a soul bleed. A little heart freeze, that's cold blood. That's a hit and run. I take my life if I can give her one. That's true love. This is true love. That's real love. This is real love, baby.
The road is long, my mountains high, the valleys low, the storm it blows, the wind is cold, my purple rose. How much I love you, only God knows.
I told you I was very determined and I was going to find that track, you know what I mean? And that was Purple Flower, My Purple Flower 4 by Antone Page. I'm still waiting on him to connect with us, but while I'm waiting on connecting with him, I'm going to do some maintenance over here. So you're going to get a chance to hear a few things. Also, why don't we go ahead and take the time to look up the weather in Hemet, right? Also, I guess we should be checking the weather in Tecumseh, Nebraska, seeing as how that's where Antone Page hails from. Weather in Hemet. 77 degrees out there right now. It's not too hot, but it's going to be reaching a peak of 94 today. All right, tomorrow it's going to be sunny. Sunday, again, I want to warn you, I'm not going to be here live, but I will be putting out a sermon for you. Some different things that I'm going to put together to make sure that you have a video to watch. And if I am able to go live from the Wedding Expo, this is my first time going to a Wedding Expo, I will go live from the Wedding Expo and show you all what it looks like. But definitely, I'm going to have a gang of amazing pictures and video from that event. So, pre-recorded Hemet Beat Daily Show sermon coming on Sunday. And it's going to be sunny. Monday it's going to be sunny. Tuesday it's going to be cloudy. Wednesday it's going to be raining. Thursday is going to be cloudy. Friday it's going to be sunny again. And we will be back at you tomorrow for our kids show, Super Saturday. Okay? And like I said, I'm going to be doing some maintenance while I'm waiting on Tone the Bonehead Smith. Tone the Bonehead Smith. Why would I call you that, right? Because that is the nickname that was given him by my dad. He was known as Tone the Bonehead. Where did Bonehead come from, actually? I'm like wondering, why was he called Bonehead? Was he hard-headed? Maybe that's where it came from. I don't know. But this is his folder. We're going to dip into it. I've got some audios here. All of these audios are Antone Page poems and different things that he's created over the time we've been working since 10/7, 10/6 this one. So in October of last year, it's almost been a year of recording with Antone. So let me go ahead and play a couple of these new ones to find out what they are and what we're going to do with them. See what we got going on here.
This call is now being recorded.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Tecumseh State Correctional Institution. To accept this call, press 5. To refute, your current balance is $20.40. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Alright, yeah, let me see if I can switch you over to headphones. It says it's on headphones, but for some reason. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, it's still coming through loud and clear. Oh, okay, I see why. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Alright, good. I got you in the headphones, putting you on record. You already recording, putting you on mute. Go ahead, do your thing.
I'm like a dog being grabbed by the jaws and shaking. Now we're going to start it over because you just... All right, let's start it over. All right. I don't know why. And I don't care. I'm like a dog being grabbed by the jaws and shaking. My brain's off for God's sake, and God save him, for I make him, break him, and put him in. God save him, takes him off of the wall, save him. There's no way that you can save him, just slay him. All right. I'm like a dog being grabbed by the jaws and shaking. My brain's off for God's sake, and God save him, for I'll make him, break him, and put him in. God save him, takes him off of the wall, save him. There's no way that you can save him, just slay him. All right. You got a chorus right here. I was beaten, I was stormed, pushed around and kicked. I was cursed, I was punched, pushed down and whipped. I was punished in my house for things I never did. I thought it was my first kid. I was beaten, I was stomped, pushed around and kicked. I was cursed, I was punched, pushed down and whipped. I was punished in my house for things I never did. I thought it was my fault, but I was just a kid. I saw the daytime turn into the nighttime. Then the sun never came back outside. I grew up in a house where some people were smoking crack. I don't use it as no excuse, that's why I never crack. I'm gonna always keep it truth, I'm gonna always keep it fact. Disrespect my dad, 9 out of 10, you was getting smacked.
Wow, well, that was pretty passionate. It sounds like we got Mr. Bonehead himself on the
From
line.
on Tony Leakey's page.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay, I switched
Hello,
this
this
up.
is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Tecumseh State Correctional Institution. To accept this call, press 5. To refuse this call, your current balance is $19.51. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Okay, so we've got Mr. Antone Page has stepped to the stage. How you doing this morning, Brother Bonehead?
Man, coming straight from the cage is Antone Page on the Hemet beat. What's up, all listeners? I'm so sorry for being late. I was in the lab writing some new music for you guys. So my fault on that, but hopefully it'd be all worth the wait when it comes out.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just pulling up some stuff from yesterday, seeing how the quality of it and everything was, and getting ready to put it over inside of your folder. And some of the lyrics that were being said was, I was stomped, I was beat, pushed down, and kicked, beat up inside of the house that I grew up in for things that I never did. Now, am I correct when I state those lyrics? Is that what it said?
Yeah, that's some of the lyrics that was put down yesterday. Yeah, some of my childhood trauma that I've been through. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to go there. Really, I don't know how deep we should go with that, because, I mean, you're saying some stuff there that's going to rattle a few cages, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, maybe we could play it. Maybe we can play it as a single or something like that when the song gets done. I don't like releasing music that ain't finished. Did you play it already?
Yeah, I've already started to play it because I needed to find out what I had so I could put it in your folder.
You gotta start getting permission to play music, man. You can't just be playing all that good stuff out there for people. They not ready for that yet, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I filed it correctly. So I'm thinking, what should we file this as? Should we file it as butt whippings?
You said what?
What file are we going to put it under? Should it be called butt whippings? The file? We'll just create a file for everything where you talk about getting your butt whipped. And we'll call it butt whippings.
Nah, that's supposed to be under the testimony album.
Okay, that goes into your testimony album. Okay, I'm grateful that I found that out. Gonna have to listen to it some more to see if you have anything on there that I can clean up, because the beginning of it goes in and out. So I want to make sure that we're able to get a clean version of the chorus. So hopefully a couple of the other choruses that you put in there will work and we don't have to record the whole thing again. But what is the name of this track?
Teenager.
Teenager. Okay, Teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a teenager. And I will put Antone Page on there. So what were you writing this morning?
I was writing a song this morning called Chains on My Wrist.
Chains on My Wrist. Okay. Teenager. We will put phone. And would you like to recite some of those lyrics for us this morning?
Man, I do not like
This call is
giving the
now being
people.
recorded.
I do not like giving the people stuff that they not ready for. Man, they got to be ready for this stuff, man. You can't just be Johnny on the spot dropping stuff that people ain't ready to hear.
I don't
Gotta turn
know.
them off.
Teenager phone recording. That's what this should be called. Okay. Well, then what would you like to do for the people since they're not ready for?
So first of all, I would like to thank everybody who contributed to the Bible study that I'm running in the penitentiary. I got a $25 donation so far from last week to this week. So next week we'll be able to buy the nachos and burritos. So I want to thank Machiavelli for contributing that $25 for the nachos and everything. If you're listening out there, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you're a listener who has not donated a dollar yet, the stuff in here is pretty cheap for us to get. It's not too expensive. So even a $5 or $3 donation to my books or to the Cash App would be greatly appreciated to help us keep breaking bread. Jesus said he's the bread of life. We're taking our communion in here as we break bread with each other. So we're just doing that, trying to build and encourage brothers to stay in their Bibles. I'd like to do that, first of all. Then I want to talk a little bit about the program unit that I'm in. Now, this unit that I'm in, where I reside at, is called Prison Fellowship Academy. And I wonder if you want to look that up on your internet. If you can look up Prison Fellowship Academy, so the people can get an idea of how I'm living my life in here. You know, a lot of people remember you from the past. You know, it's been 10 years since I've been who I was on the outside. But these are the type of opportunities that I'm taking to change, that God has provided me to change myself from who I used to be, change some of those old actions that people hate so much, you know, and that I hated so much, you know what I mean? Being trapped in that darkness without God, you had to do a lot of things to survive out there, you know, and well, you didn't have to do those things, but you did them because that's all you knew, you know. And when you with somebody who does not know how to love, because they've never been taught how to love, and they've never seen love, it's really hard to love for you and the other person. So I want to look up Prison Fellowship Academy so we can let the people know about the Christian unit that I'm living in and participating in. This will be a extensive year program where we do Bible study every day, Monday through Friday, once a day, and then on Tuesday, twice a day. Man, this is going to be an awesome program. The work is going to be extensive. I mean, we're talking about all kind of stuff, accountability, community. You know, it's really getting people prepared to walk back out into the community a different person. I want people to understand that when they hold things over people's heads that they've done in their past, when they hold those things and regret or resent people, and they voice those resentments on people who have changed, you're not helping them re-enter the community as a different person. You're only reminding them of who they used to be and kind of giving a narrative that they can't change and that they haven't changed and they're not good enough. So I really want people out there to understand that people in prison need to be encouraged in the changes that they're making, because if they're not supported in those changes, well, they have to re-enter community at some time. And when they re-enter the community, they will know that you did not support the men that they had changed into. And it's easier for them to go back to their old ways because you remind them so much of them. So I encourage people who are in prison trying to make changes and doing what it takes to become different men in God and in their life period. So if you got loved ones out there, encourage them, even if they're not loved ones, even if it's someone you hate. You don't want them walking back out in the community with hate for you. You don't want them walking back out in the community with hate in their heart. Give them a chance to change. Even a bad person can do something good. So did you look up prison fellowship yet?
I sure did. The Prison Fellowship Academy graduates at TSCI. I'm thinking that would be Tecumseh State Correctional Institution. This
Yeah, that's where
picture
we're at. But
was taken.
it should be all over. It should be over. It shouldn't take out the TSCI and just put Prison Fellowship Academy because they're all over America. They're not just at this prison.
Okay. I mean, but this is the one pertinent to you, right? You said you want people to see how
pertinent. They're all pertinent.
You say you want people to see how you're living, right?
No, not this, because I'm not a graduate. I'm just starting the class, so you're seeing what other people are doing. But I want to get an overview of PFA and what they do, and that's not going to give us the overview. So if you just put it in without the TSCI, you can see the overview of who Prison Fellowship is and what they offer inmates. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay. Okay, so yeah. All right, I will put it in just as you asked, but definitely going to the TSCI one up because that's where you're at, and if you graduate, that's where you'll graduate from.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it makes sense to have it there so people can see, what year when you said where you're living. So
Well, we're gonna revisit that when I graduate because you're gonna see my picture up there when I graduate. So that'll be the new graduation
and what
class.
about the graduating class that just graduated on the 27th?
That cohort is the old cohort. I'm just now starting it. It takes a year. The program is a year long. Actually, 14 months. The program takes to graduate. So this is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle that we live of harmony, of love, of compassion, of joy, of peace, of long suffering, of patience. This is the lifestyle that I now live. This is the person that I now am. And I really appreciate the platform that TSCI has provided for me to continue on my path of growth. And I wanted to talk about this domestic violence class as well, but I want to get that preview up of a PFA. And there's a domestic violence class that I'm taking part in, and just really happy to be a part of that program, because I was a victim of domestic violence myself. My ex or the mother of mine stabbed me with a butcher knife at one point. And this thing is all about, domestic violence is teaching me that it's all about control. I was accused of, mental abuse, but when you're physically stabbed, and almost lose your life to the hands of somebody who wants to control you, it's a very traumatizing experience. And even though you don't realize that you're traumatized at that time, it does. It makes you act different. It makes you do different things in your relationship. You love this person, so you stay with this person. You have responsibility with this person. You're tied to this person through finances, through children, and through household, having a home and everything else. So you're tied and you can't just leave like that, or you feel like you just can't leave. So you stay. I've been punched in my face and really have dealt with some domestic violence. And also, I've tried to control in relationships with another woman that I was attached to. She would get drunk and take off her shirt and try to run out the house up and down the street. So I would grab her by her wrist and I would close the door. I would lock it. I would try to hold her in the house. She got a baby there. She got drugs all over the table. And I'm trying to save her, but at the same time, I'm trying to control someone who is an adult. You know, it has the right to do whatever she wants to do. So we talked a lot about control and domestic violence this week, which was important to me because it's like I should have just let her run up and down the street butt naked, and if her kid got took, if the police came and busted her for drugs on the table, then it just would have been it. That would have been it. And that would have been the consequences of her own actions. But in that time of darkness, in that time of living that life, I did not have the tools that I have now or the understanding that I have now. And that's the point of taking these classes. And that's the point of bettering yourself, because now I have different tools to use if I'm ever in that circumstance again. I know now it's better for me not to control, and the only person I have control over is me, and that goes for the person who victimized me in my relationship. When I was come home and you was mad because, I was dating another person or whatever the situation may be, you punched me in my face. And I allowed you to do that because I wanted to stay in that relationship. And you can't control what I do. If I was going to do that, the only person you had control over is yourself. And you had the choice at any time to leave. You had the choice at any time to start a new life or whatever you wanted to do, and you didn't do it. And that was my fault. And I could have left and went, to any life I wanted to choose, and I didn't have to try to control that person. So that's what we talked about in domestic violence this week. Really hardcore stuff. Brings up a lot of memories,
I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure the people hear you too. What I got my feelings on it, and you have your feelings on it. And when I hear what you're saying, it sounds a lot like blame, as if you are blaming others for your actions and not taking accountability.
Yeah, no. Well, like I'm saying is that I had the choice to leave the relationship at any point in time. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I did not have the right to control any other person. That is not my right. If that person wants to get drunk, if that person wants to endanger her children and leave drugs on the table and everything, if that person wants to do that, that's their right. And I do not have the right to try to control that person at all, period. If you're that upset that you're going to take a butcher knife out of your sink and stab someone in the chest, draw it back again and stab them in the arm where they have to go get 15 stitches and didn't have a ride to the hospital, that was your choice to do that, but you didn't have to do that. You could have walked away. You could have left the household. You don't have the right to control me. You don't have the right to kill me or stab me because you're mad at what I did. So if there's anyone out there that's living in a domestic violent relationship, you need to know that you don't have control over the other person, and you need to let them have their right to be who they are, because they have the right to be who they want to be, regardless if you think that it's right or whether you think that it's wrong, period. That's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming. I'm not trying to be a victim or play the victim role. I'm saying for a fact what happened in my household, what happened in my relationships, and how you can avoid that thing if you're the people that's listening. Does that make it more clear of what I'm saying, or do you still feel like I'm blaming somebody else for what they did?
It's just touchy. It's touchy, and like I said, that's what I hear. That's my interpretation. We're all individuals,
well, great.
But if I have an interpretation, and then you have other people that have an interpretation.
Yeah, I know you suffer from domestic violence as well, so you probably would do good taking a domestic violence class. But when you take these classes and it brings up things from your past, you have to talk about it from an unbiased, especially on this show, you have to talk about it from an unbiased point of view. You can't say, and point the finger, because when you point the finger, you got three pointing back at you. You got to remember, this is not about shame. It's not about guilt. It's not about blame. It's about taking responsibility for yourself, and it's about saying, I'm going to get myself to a safe spot. I'm going to get myself to a safe place. And that's what this is about, people. I want the people to be safe. I don't want people coming to jail because they had a fight with their wife. I don't want people dying because people have died with domestic violence because they're trying to control each other. And that's not the only aspect of domestic violence. That's just what we covered this week. So as we go forward with our shows, I'm going to talk about what I'm learning in domestic violence every week. And as I grow with my knowledge, I will be taking full responsibility for my actions. Like I said, it was not my right to grab her by her arm and try to pull her back in the house and lock the door. I was committing domestic violence. I could have been arrested for that. That was my fault. I should have never touched that person. I should have let her do what she wanted to do, regardless of that is an adult. And if there's anyone listening who has an adult relationship with someone, you do not have the right to put your hands on that woman. I don't care what is going on with you. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care what's going on. Be a man and walk out that door. Take responsibility and control for yourself. Because the only thing you can control in this world is your reactions, yourself, and what you do. So when you go to court or you're wrapped up and tangled up in these situations, the only person that's going to suffer the consequences of your actions is you, period. And I'm a survivor. I'm not a blamer. I survived because I could have died. And someone could have killed me because they wanted control over my life and what I was doing because they were mad about what I had done and what I had chose to do as a grown adult male. So if you're ever that upset that you want to kill somebody, that you want to stab somebody, you need to find you a different relationship. You need to go somewhere else and go and find you someone else that you can be with that you don't have to stab. Period.
Okay, so now let me ask you this question. What do you think the other individual is thinking right now as you're saying what you're saying?
The other individuals in my life?
The other individual that you say stabbed you and you could have lost your life because they wanted control over what you were doing as a grown man. What do you think in their mind is
true? I think they're saying what I'm saying is true because they did do what I'm saying happened. They're like, whoa, that's true. I did try to stab him, but why? Because I was mad about what he was doing. But it's not so much about you being mad about what I was doing. It's about you trying to have control over me as an adult. And that's what I learned in domestic violence. So I'm wondering,
okay, so did that person
domestic violent relationship?
Did that person actually stab you or try to?
No, that person actually stabbed me in my chest, almost right in my windpipe. The first blow went right to the center of my chest. The second blow went into my arm to the bone, and I had to get 13 stitches in my arm from the hospital when I went. And when I went to the hospital, it was my choice on whether I wanted to report that person or whether I wanted to make up a lie in a story to save that person. And us survivors of domestic violence do that so many times. We go to the hospital and they offer us, hey, do you want to press charges? And you say no, because I love that person. I'm attached to that person. I got finances and children. I got all this stuff with that person that's stopping me from proceeding with charges or leaving. And that's what's so dangerous about domestic violence, that when you know you should leave, you love the person so much that you stay in a dangerous situation.
Okay, so, and now did this come out of...
If somebody's listening, I love you. I stayed with you because I loved you. I stayed with you with my life being in danger. I stayed with you because I had responsibility for my children. I stayed with you because my love was attached to you. Yes, I'm not afraid to admit that.
Okay, but did it just happen out of nowhere? Did this person just one day up and say, you know what, I'm going to stab you with a butcher knife? It sounds like there's something that pushed that person.
Okay,
and like you can't overlook those things.
Like I already said that. I already said why. I said why because you were mad that I was doing something else. I said that. It wasn't because I hit her. It wasn't because I punched her. It wasn't because her life was in danger. She wanted to control my action. She was mad because of who I was choosing to be with when I was choosing to be with them, and you had every right to walk out the door, but you had no right to stab me. What part of that are you not catching?
I just wanted to understand the story. Like, wow, what would push a person's passion to a crime of passion to the point where they would be willing to be convicted of murder?
Right, right. And it's not only just a crime of passion because passion is when you catch them in the act. Not 3 days later after you come back to the house and you stewed on the situation at hand and you become so mad that while we're talking the situation out, you come out the sink with a butcher knife. So everybody wants to play victim. Everybody wants to play innocent. And I'm not playing either side of the role. And this is not about what happened with me and her. This is about what I'm learning in domestic violence. This is about not letting it happen again. This is about not being in that situation. This is about taking responsibility and controlling yourself. But don't think that anybody's innocent. Don't think that anybody, oh, well, you got the right to stab somebody because they made you mad or because you built them up to do that. It's not about all of that. It's not about a specific situation because it was many situations. I was having sex and got punched in my mouth while I was having sex, but it was my choice to be having sex, and you had no right to punch me in my mouth while I was doing so, just like I would have no right to punch you in the mouth for doing what you were doing when you had men coming to the house and everything else. So it was a toxic on both ends. And when you're in a relationship that you can't talk things out and you can't come to an agreement in that relationship and violence happens, you need to get out of that relationship. And that's what I'm learning. You need to go to counseling. You need to do whatever you need to do because your safety is more important than your finances. Your safety is more important than your stability. Your safety is more important than pretending to be a happy married couple in your relationship. If it's not safe, then you need to do something different. And I should have been man enough. That's my responsibility. Again, I blame myself because I should have been man enough to walk out the door. I should have been man enough to say, you know what? I don't want to lose my life. I'm not going to take a chance with this. I'm walking out. But that person still has no right to take my life or attempt to take my life.
Okay, so you got 3 comments coming from Machiavelli, whose name is like spelled out. Yeah, but he says, what does that have to do with Incarceration Friday? Not sure if that question's for me or for you. Says, what was the outcome of the building that lost its roof? And I'm getting the prisoners situated. So I'm sure he's talking about getting those prisoners situated that were living inside of the gym.
I don't have no updates. The reason I didn't mention anything about the prisons is because I have no updates on that prison. What this has to do with Incarcerated Friday is it's presenting to you the programs that we have, that we had the ability to take while we're in prison. The questions about my personal experience with domestic violence really don't have a lot to do with Incarceration Friday. I just had to answer those questions because they were asked. The point in having this conversation was to look at what's being provided for us in here, that, we don't want to be re-traumatized, but we also want to look at the trauma of our past and grow from it. And come up with positive solutions so it doesn't happen again in our futures. That's important for Incarcerated Friday. What I really want to talk about also, jumping topic here a little bit, is talking about people who, family and friends of incarcerated individuals who don't communicate with the individuals that are in prison. Like when we're sending text messages, when we're calling, when we're not looking for money, but just looking for conversation, it really gives a sensation of abandonment and resentment when we don't get that communication from our families and from our friends. It's really I've noticed a lot of people in here that suffer from depression and sadness because they don't have those interactions with their families, with their friends from the outside. We're almost talked about as a memory and as we're dead. You know, they say, oh, remember when so and so was here? Remember when we had this memory? Remember when we did that? But you're not continuously building memory or allowing a person in prison to be a part of your life. And when we start making changes and we start becoming different men and we doing something positive with our life, the only thing we really want to do is be a positive connection in the lives of those that we've hurt. We understand that coming to prison hurts our family, hurts our friends, puts a burden on the community. And as we change, we desire to share those changes with the people that we hurt in our past. We desire to show them the love that we now have, especially when we turn over to Christ. We want them to understand and to forgive us and to understand that there's a future of an incarcerated individual, and hurting that person worse or hurting that person more by neglecting them or abandoning them in this situation is not inducive to change. If you want people to change, you want people to be better people, then play a role in their life. You know, tell them what you require of them. Be honest with them. You know, I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of in my past, and I would just love the opportunity to make those things right. You know, and get opportunity to share the person that I am now with the people that knew me for who I was.
Okay.
You know, give people a chance to know who they are.
So you got another comment from Karen Bowser. She's watching from Georgia. She says, I disagree on the trying to stop her from harming herself or something else. The question, how or what you should do.
I mean, it's really hard because in the culture I was in before, I was taught not to call the police. And as men, we're taught to handle situations ourselves. Like, I'm the man of this. I can handle this. I don't need help. I got this. It's my responsibility as a man. So what I've learned now is that if I need help, I need to reach out to someone that can help me. If I'm going through a situation like that and someone's trying to hurt themselves or you know, the baby's in trouble, all of the situation, I need to reach out to help, whether that's calling a counselor, a hospital, or the police, period. You know, and that's hard to say because you love that person and you don't want them in trouble, but who can I call on? Who can I turn to? You know, and that's a good question that you're asking, a very good question. But as a man and as people, we need to seek help in whatever fashion or form we can find it. You know, whether that's calling over a friend, if that looks right, if it's calling her parents, if that looks right, you know, other people to support you in that situation so that it doesn't look like abuse.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question, Karen.
I hear you. So I'm going to go ahead and run over and into the Prison Fellowship Academy. It says it's a year's journey and a lifelong change. They've got stories up here. Why don't we click on About Us and we can look at our beliefs first. That'll give us a good idea of what this program that Antone Page and many other individuals are now in. Okay, so it says our mission is to encounter Jesus with those impacted by incarceration. The vision, to see a revival of the church inside and outside prison that brings justice, mercy, and hope to our culture. Prison Fellowship believes that a restorative approach to those impacted by incarceration can make communities safer and healthier. Our ministry is founded on the conviction that all people are created in God's image and that no life is beyond God's reach. He can make even the most broken people and situations whole again as they embrace new values in a restorative community. That's those who once broke the law are transformed and mobilized to serve their neighbors, replacing the cycle of crime with a cycle of renewal. That's a pretty good mission they have here. So I put the Tecumseh State, Nebraska, Tecumseh, Nebraska State link into the file now. I'm going to add this. It's PFA, Prison Fellowship Academy. That way you can look into their beliefs. If you have a loved one, maybe they can enroll in the program. We are at 9:29, and as we get out of here, we will hear more from Mr. Antone Page next week. After this conversation, I think you should probably contact Machiavelli. So here are some graduates from August 27th, 2025, Prison Fellowship Academy over at Tecumseh State, Nebraska. It says, let's hear it for the newest graduates of the Prison Fellowship Academy at Tecumseh State Correctional Institution. And these men officially completed their program, marking a major milestone in their commitment to personal transformation. It's inspiring to see their dedication to building a better path forward. A huge shout out to our partners at Prison Fellowship for making this possible. They've got some hashtags. They've got these graduating classes here. We can take a look and you can see how grateful they really seem to be. Doesn't look like I can go to the next picture from here, though. Is there a scroll up or do I have to go one by one? Yep, I'm going to have to go one by one. All right, and there goes that graduating class. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 individuals that were able to graduate this class. Such a blessing. You can go in and check them out. Here's one with the counselors who made that possible. And the reason that I do this and I stop to take the time to do this is because if I have graduated and I have a cap and gown on and I got a chance to sit with my graduating class and the faculty and that supported making this happen, I would want that to be recognized as well. In appreciation for the program that did so much for me. And we hope a year from now, we will be looking at your picture on this website along with all the pictures that we have right here. We can see them outside gardening and, man, we can just wonder, what their minds are now. What do they think about now? Where are their hearts at now? And the truth of the matter is the only one that knows a person's heart is God. There are scriptures that make it clear that you can't even trust your own heart. It's wicked, beyond imagination. Only God truly knows a man's heart. I don't even know my own heart. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people before I let you go this morning, Anton?
Hey, I just appreciate all the encouragement in this new program I'm undertaking. I want to talk about domestic violence a little bit. Like I said, get help if you're out there and you're in one of those type of relationships. Do your best to get help to figure it out. If there's anyone that I've harmed or any way that you know I've abused or hurt or harmed, I want to apologize. I want to say that I'm so sorry for the pain that I've caused you, whether emotionally or mentally or any other way. I'm working, I'm trying, I'm a work in progress. I am not a perfect person, but I'm sure closer to perfect than I was 10 years ago. So we're grinding and we're pushing forward to positivity. I hope that this show opened some eyes and gave some awareness. You guys keep your eyes open, keep it peeled back. Make today that you make the positive change in your life. You do not have to be a victim of life. You do not have to be a victim of anyone. You have the right to live your life to the fullest. So go out there, live your life to the fullest. Don't let anyone stop you, because I'm not letting my sentence stop me. I'm not letting the people of my past stop me or the people of my present. I'm pushing forward and I'm racing for the goal of an abundant life and a life in heaven. You guys do the same. You guys just grind for happiness because you deserve it.
All right, you've been tuned into another episode of the Hemet Beat Daily Show, Incarceration Friday. God bless you, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow for Super Saturday. Remember, Sunday I will be at a wedding expo. So I'll make sure you see pictures of that. And if I can't go live, I will. There will be a sermon in place for you to be able to tune into, though, guaranteed. God bless. Goodbye for now. See you soon.